Hello, Bandrew and fellow Podcastage 2 viewers. Podcastage 1? Podcastage. I really appreciated your recent video on the effects of a desk and screen on audio quality, and I wanted to add my own data to probably reinforce your results, but just so people could have a second data point. Here is the setup I'll be using. I'm using the PodMic with the whatever pop filter Tom Buck recommended. I have an Oktava MkII USB up here. It's a hypercardioid capsule with a Movo pop screen. I have a ModMic 4 with a switchable capsule between Omni and Cardioid here. Each of them will be running through the Audient ID 4 I've got down here. I have a noise filter running, and I'll be manually trying to get the levels approximately the same, but I'm not Bandrew. I'll leave the fine details to him. I hope this will still be helpful. I'm going to give two sets of tests today. The first will be facing the desk and facing away from the desk with each of the three mics, the PodMic, the Oktava, and the ModMic. After that, I'm going to throw up some sound blankets behind me so we can get the comparison effect of adding those to the room. I should also mention the ModMic has two capsules, and I'll test both of them. I'm going to try and run the same sort of tests I saw Bandrew do in his video, so we have the closest A-B comparison. Without the blankets up, there's not a ton of sound treatment in here. There are a couple of couches or ottomans. Right now, that's where the sound blankets are placed to hide the mess in this office. Otherwise, at my desk, as you can see, it's less than minimalist, and I'm sitting in front of a 42-inch OLED screen. I have some audio panels up behind the monitor, just behind the camera, and I also have some other audio panels up on that wall. They're the Elgato ones. I think their impact is fairly minimal. Anyway, let's start those tests. First, the PodMic. The PodMic is about 6 inches from my mouth. I'm facing the monitor, and here's how it sounds. Here's how the PodMic sounds facing away from the monitor. Next, we're going to test the Oktava 012 up here. It's currently about 14 inches from my mouth and pointed down roughly at my chest at a 45-degree angle. Here's how it sounds when I'm facing the monitor. Here's a roughly comparable position when I'm facing away from the monitor. Second to finally, the penultimate test will be the ModMic running the Omni capsule. Here's how it sounds when I'm sitting at my desk, roughly 24 inches away from the monitor. Here is how it sounds when I'm facing away from the desk, several feet from a wall. Back facing the desk, facing away from the desk, positioned as you see. Final test for no sound treatment, or no sound blankets I should say. Here is the ModMic running through the Audient ID Mark 4 with the Cardioid capsule. Sounds like this when I'm sitting at my desk 24 inches from the monitor. Sounds like this when I'm sitting at my desk facing away from the monitor towards more open space. Next, I'm going to throw up some sound blankets and we'll see the effect. All right, so now I've put these sound blankets up behind me. There are two sound blankets hung on hooks that span pretty much the entire width of the room. They overlap substantially in the middle, so say it's like on average 1.5 layers of sound blankets back there. Now we're going to do the same tests running through the mics in the same order as we did before, but now with sound blankets hung up that cut the effective volume of the space in half. Running through these tests once again, I'm facing the monitor. I'm testing the PodMic, which is, again, about 6 inches from my mouth off to the corner. And when I'm facing the monitor, it sounds like this. When I'm facing away from the monitor, it sounds like this. For the next test with the sound blanket, I'll be using the Oktava hypercardioid boom just overhead, about 14 inches away from my mouth. Here's how it sounds when I'm sitting at my desk facing the monitor. Here's how it sounds when I'm facing away from the monitor. And once again, facing the monitor sounds like this when I've got these sound blankets up. Finally, I'll be testing the two capsules on the ModMic 4, running through the Audient ID Mark 4 using the Rode VXLR Plus adapter. Right now, I'm using the omnidirectional capsule. I'm facing the desk. My monitor is, again, about 24 inches away. And with the Omni capsule, it sounds like this. When I'm facing away from the desk, using the same mic, the ModMic 4 using the Omni capsule, it sounds like this. Once again, facing the desk sounds like this. What do you think? Finally, here's the ModMic 4 using the Cardioid capsule. And when I'm facing the desk, sitting 24 inches away from the monitor, here's how it sounds. In the same position, facing away from the desk and monitor, here's how it sounds. One more time, facing the desk and monitor. And once again, just so you can see, there I am. Here's what my setup looks like. I've hung up sound blankets, basically 2 layers of them, 1.5 layers since they overlap in the middle. That cuts the space of the room in half. The other treatment I have is, we've got a couch in here. We've got a cushy ottoman back there. We have Elgato sand panels up behind the monitor and another set over there over the TV. I'm now going to switch back to the PodMic for the rest of the video. Hanging up the sound blankets in this office make a massive difference. I can instantly hear it in the room without even recording, just clapping as we've seen Bandrew do on his audio tests. Without the sound treatment, the room has a lot of hard surfaces and red angles when they're not up. And I don't always want to hang them up if I'm just having a quick call. The result I like best is actually the ModMic. It's the PodMic, but the PodMic requires a lot more treatment and restricts my movements when I'm in a meeting with students or something like that, where I'm jumping around trying to do math and show things off and be rather animated. The second best option, from my experience and in pure terms of sound quality, is the ModMic on the Cardioid capsule. It sounds the worst. It is definitely the worst capsule. Typically, the raw signal sounds tinny, flat, compressed, however you want to call it. It's like all the life's been sucked out of it. But when it's processed by Zoom, and when it's in this room with no sound treatment, it doesn't have nearly the negative room tone that the Omni capsule does, or any of the other mics I have available, except the PodMic, which restricts my movements. And so for that reason, when I'm in one-on-one meetings, when I'm in Zoom calls, my current intention is to use the ModMic with the Cardioid capsule, so I don't have to always be hanging up and taking down these same sound blankets. It only takes a minute or so, but in terms of the actual noticed quality on the other end of Zoom calls, the ModMic 4 with the Cardioid capsule gives nearly the best results, just in terms of intelligibility, not in terms of pure audio magnificence or whatever. Anyway, Bandrew, I've been watching your videos for a long time. Everything I've done right is probably thanks to you. All the things I've done wrong here are thanks to my own idiocy. Making great videos. I'll look forward to your next one.